You guys doing tonight? My name is SaQuan Hicks. I go by Coach Trap, Dr. Trap. You guys you call me. I pretty much this is my 8th year coaching football. This is my I'm going into my 5th year coaching varsity football. This is my 8th year coaching football together. I'm pretty much Southern Pennsylvania area, York, Pennsylvania, and I run the 245 Warfare defense.
What's going on, guys? My name's Spencer Wheeler. I also go by Coach SC Dub on Twitter, and you might have seen me on there. I've been coaching football for 7 years. Unfortunately, because of COVID and everything, I've been out for the last 2 years, but I've been staying diligent, trying to learn as much of the game as I can. I'm originally from the Bay Area, actually just north of San Francisco, and currently I'm down in Southern California, just near Long Beach. And I'm looking forward to it. Jumping out, first play of the game. Usually when I get into play of the game, regardless of where I am on the field, if I'm backed up, if I'm close to goal line, if midfield, wherever, the first play of the game is usually going to be wedge. Wedge for me is kind of the base of this offense. It's kind of the foundation play that I teach our O-line and something they buy into. If you're going to see off the diagram, I think Coach will kind of show it, but our offensive line, our tight ends, our guards, and our tackles, they're all backed up off the center as deep as they possibly can be. They're going to be basically with their shoulder on the center's hip. And the point of that is we don't wedge a defender, we wedge our center. So regardless of the formation we're in, if we're unbalanced, we're like we are in this set right now, if we're unbalanced, or if we're balanced up in our other sets, we're always going to wedge on the center. And then the only big coaching point for our kids is we just call it the bully. So in this instance, it would be the nose guard. We said we're going to bully that kid. We're going to play, our 7 guys against one. We're going to take him. We're going to run him backwards as far as we can. And that's kind of a fun coaching point that all of my offensive linemen seem to love, and all of my scout team players seem to hate because when they get called out as the bully, they know they're getting reamed. But the play is real simple. Again, we're going to cheat our line back as far back as we legally can. And they're going to step. So our guards are the most important. You can really run this thing with just 3 guys. Our guards are the most important. They're going to step inside, on or behind the center's foot, and they're just going to push that center's near hip into the defensive lineman, essentially. If there was no defensive lineman, we just push our center forward as far as we can. And if we can, we're going to try and get those guards to get our weak guard, in this instance, on the left-hand side, his right hip to touch our right guard's left hip and just kind of squeeze them together. And we're going to try and push our center forward. Our weak end, is going to do the same thing. He's going to step down on the weak guard's outside hip. He's going to push the guard into the center. Our inside tackle is going to push our guard into the center. Our outside tackle is going to push our inside tackle into the center. And our strong end is going to push the outside tackle, right? So on and so forth. Again, we're just trying to get as much force and weight on our center, basically, as we can. We're not going to worry about, what the front is, because we all know if we get hip to hip, there's no gaps, right? There's no penetration. So again, now Coach is going to disagree, but that's our mentality of the play. That's the coaching point, is there are no gaps. All right, we're going to go forward and we're going to build a wedge, a shield for our fullback. Our quarterback here, we used to have him reverse out, but I didn't like how slow it was. Quarterback kind of got a little careless with the ball. So we just open up and he will stick the ball just right there, basically on guards, the strong guard outside hip or inside hip, He's going to just stick the ball there and let the fullback take it. And then after he hands off, to the fullback, the quarterback's going to bootleg around, and that's going to help us try and contain that backside defensive end or the corner if they're coming hot off the edge. We will run just enough bootleg. All right, so that's kind of the protector of this play. The quarterback has to make the block. All right, we tell him, you're not a physical guy. Make the block by faking somebody out. Our tailback, we run so much perimeter stuff that you're going to see a little bit later, that we just really want him to oversell our sweep play to the outside. And if he pulls anybody with him, any of these safeties, linebacker, if he pulls a corner or makes the D-end widen, he did his job. We just want him to oversell, like he's getting the sweep and he's taking it to the outside. Again, we're trying to actively block somebody without blocking anybody. Our Z right here is our wing back. We just call him a Z. He's just going to go kick out the first guy off the wedge. All right. If we had him flipped over to the other side, we do the exact same thing. We're just going to try and protect the wedge as best we can. We're not looking for anything in particular in terms of fronts. It does help if the front is really flat against the line of scrimmage, like this one is, where we've got so much defenders up on the line of scrimmage. we can kind of puncture this thing through. So that's my play calling mindset. If I know I'm going to see this kind of flat coverage, this flat front, I call it a fence. We know we're going to run wedge over and over and over, just try and pop one into the secondary. But yeah, the coaching points for this are to wedge on the center. We don't worry about defenders. We wedge on the center. It's as much force as we can, trying to get hip to hip with each other as possible. And then our fullback is, I think, the most important thing. The younger your fullbacks are, the more likely they're going to try and pop it to the outside immediately. They're going to see a hole and they're going to try and pop it outside. You have to teach them to get into the wedge. You have to teach them, hey, if we're wedging right here, we're making you a pocket right where the center was. Get in that pocket, get me 4 yards, and then do whatever you want. And I tell it, that's literally the coaching point I tell the kids, is if you get me 4 yards, after 4 yards, do whatever you want. Pop it outside, get hit by somebody, pop it outside, score a touchdown. But if you fall down and get me 4 yards, I'll give you the ball 50 times a game. All right. And aside from that, that's basically the crux of it, is just teaching that kid to be patient. So if you have a real patient runner, doesn't have to be fast, doesn't have to be particularly strong, but if he's patient and just kind of knows what to do, he'll be great at this as a fullback. But that's it, coach.
So right here we have an unbalanced formation. So in my mind, we have to find a way to make this unbalanced formation over balanced formation. So automatically from the beginning, I shifted my front over to my right. Automatically, I shifted my entire defense over to the right. First thing you're going to notice, or a defensive mind is going to see how the way I had my two inside linebackers lined up, my defensive tackles lined up. If you look at it, there's a 4 and 3 in there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of want somebody to run in there. If you really look at the way my D tackles is lined up here, we put guys, in my experience, we put guys in a situation where you can't pull, you can't double team. So, with this play right here, I like to call this a nice little stunt with my middle linebackers. I call it psycho. At the end of the day, right here, we just pretty much just looking to create a wall, and one of my linebackers is going to make the play. One of my linebackers is going to make that play. If you really look at it again, nobody can double team. I see the main focus is to get at one of my nose, my defensive tackle. I'm sorry. I saw the main focus was to get at my defensive tackle that was lined up over the center. We kind of welcome in that. So at the end of the day, I was trying to create a wall, and one of my linebackers have to make that play. Of course, you have to win one-on-one matchups up front, and I think of course, they're not just sitting back there, they 7 yards off. So they pretty much pay me. So they say what's going on. You gotta make a play. I got a chance to decide to go from it. Second down, we can't give up this touchdown. We already losing. So from this point, I would call a blitz that I like to call sniper. So just I get that same type of idea. In my experience, like I was saying before, the Caribbean teams are pretty much double team full. I mean, our experience it doesn't work too well for them. So really cool with that. So with that, you see both from my middle linebacker blitzing, see the A gaps. You see that we're playing a cover 0. That could be a cover 1. The rover and the strong safety is covering the tight end. You see the corner came over, you're playing man-to-man. You see the free safety sitting in the A gap 7 yards off. He's responsible for the running back. Now, if the running back goes off for a pass, then free safety covers the running back. If the running back stays in the block, then my free safety is now playing cover 1. It's pretty much a robber, so he's pretty much sitting in the short middle looking for anything. To add on to that, I say the tight end stay in the block. If the tight end stay in the block, then I roll in my strong safety. Playing a robber technique. Pretty much just helping on everything. We're attacking like that. Like I said, we pretty much just discourage the team from pulling it up. We like that 4 and 3 in there. We expect teams to throw the ball and try to get on the edges, like any defense and so on in one matchup. Free safeties my free safety and my strong safety and my over. And just my corner, I do a little simple.
We're sitting at 2nd and 1. A lot of teams, they expect us to kind of go up the middle and get that. We run wedge so much. We run a lot of interior A-gap stuff so often. It's 2nd and 1. It's the mentality of just pick up the first down. For me, I kind of expect that now. I kind of expect teams to kind of blitz us up the middle, especially on the short yard stuff. So this is why I like to kind of toss the ball to the outside. Again, it really helps. Obviously, personnel dictates everything. But our tailback is like our speed kid. It's not revolutionary, but I mean, if he can only do one thing well, if it's toss sweep, we're going to be fine. Again, if we have a blitz coming up the middle, this is kind of perfect for us because we're going to really try and pull our tackles. All right, we call it truck play. T for tackles. We're going to try and pull both of them. The only other instance where we don't pull a tackle is if we get a U-me call by that inside tackle and we tell the guard to pull instead. If we get a head up shade like we do right now, we're going to try and pull. We're going to try and pull those tackles regardless. That's where we put our speed guys, right, opposite of wing T. We make our tackles our faster, speedier guys. We make our guards our bigger, stronger guys. All right, so our guards can wedge and our tackles can pull. So I really don't want my guard pulling as much as I possibly can. I want my speedier, smaller guys pulling. So yeah, we're going to try and reach and cut off that head up shade on the inside tackle. And again, we love the cut block. I try and tell our guys, our offense is a pain to play physically and mentally. All right, so if we can cut that guy, we're great. If we can't, if we can just reach him and slow him down, that's fine. And sometimes if we miss him, we're pitching that ball out so fast on the sweep. All right, those guys are just kind of looking around, expecting to get trapped, right? Because they come up free, they're not expecting to come free ever. So we get in certain situations. If that kid is a real stud though, and he is shooting and making this thing a problem, we will switch it, like I said, and make that U-me call. So we'll pull that guard and we'll leave our inside tackle on to block him. Our quarterback, just like he was on the wedge play after the pitch, he's booting around. All right, he is our backside kind of contained guy, our backside secure to make sure the backside ends and corners are staying home and not over pursuing. The number one key block on this play is our strong end. All right, if he can handle that defensive end and just stay at the line of scrimmage, we're golden. We're gonna run a lot of sweep. If that strong end is not winning the block, if he's getting kicked in the backfield, we're going to have to change things a little bit. And usually the biggest change is we will call our F, right? Our fullback who's bumped out, we'll call him down to try and seal in that rush and just hold him at the line of scrimmage. But again, if we get that as a one-on-one block, we're golden. And again, he doesn't really have to win to the inside or to the outside. He just has to hold that guy at the line of scrimmage long enough for us to get our tackles around. Again, our mindset for our pullers, our tackles, if you run it like buck sweep, familiar with buck sweep, the lead guard on buck sweep, he's pulling to kick out the corner. That's exactly what we're doing. We're telling our tackles, you're pulling to kick out, and our wings are pulling. We call them pullers, even though they're out there pulling to seal. So our wing is going to step in and block that strong safety and just try and seal him in. Our outside wing is going to try and go up to a corner and seal him in. We're going to try and create an alley on the outside for a running back to stick his toe in the dirt and get north. This thing hits a couple of different places, but it's usually a perimeter sweep. The only instance where we'll really cut it up is if the corners are really triggering our upfield and getting to the line of scrimmage. We have to kick them out fast. We'll cut it up inside. But aside from that, the backside of the line of scrimmage is really simple. We're just scoop blocking, which means we're going to step through our play side gap. If there's any guy there, take him. If there's nobody there, go up to the next level and just pick off whoever you can. Again, this is all about speed on the perimeter. And we're trying to see if we can get that rush blocked, that strong defensive end blocked. If we can secure him, we're going to run a lot of toss, especially if we're seeing a lot of interior pressure versus our spread out stuff. In this instance, we're seeing a good amount of defenders, all right, in the B gaps between the B to B. So that means I want to run sweep. I want to run away from those guys. They're going to commit to stopping us on these short runs. I want to toss the ball out there, use our speed, all right, and get our fast guys out there with some lead blockers. Up into this, we're at 3rd and 7. For me, if the ball's past probably like the 40-yard line, the minus 40, I'm going to go for it on 4th down. So I'm okay kind of gambling a little bit. This is one of my favorite plays that we run because we are so run heavy, and we will be really quarterback run heavy. So getting into the gun for us isn't a tell that we're going to pass. It's honestly a tell that we're going to run quarterback sweep and get an extra blocker. So I'm kind of banking on that. If we don't get it, we're just going to roll the dice. We're going to go for it on fourth down anyways. But this is one of my favorite plays for our quarterback because, like most of us, our quarterbacks are right-handed. And if this guy isn't, we'll switch it up and we can make it even look more run-heavy by putting a running back there who is right-handed. But we'll put our quarterback there predominantly if he is our right-handed quarterback. We're going to snap it to our quarterback at depth. He's standing about 4.5 yards. Our tailback standing right next to him over top of the guard. Our offensive linemen are going to scoop block. So again, if you heard me talk about that, the last play, our scoop block rule, it's like zone, but I don't teach zone. You're just going to step through your gap. If there's any trash, pick it up. If there's no trash, all right, you're going to the next level. We're banking on this, you can call it an RPO, but that's a little too fancy for us. We're going to run what is essentially outside zone, all right, with a quarterback sweep. And then we're going to have our tight end who has been blocking that defensive end over and over and over and over and over. We're going to have him show hands on the defensive end and slip and get vertical on a corner route. Our quarterback is just reading the corner, right? Because in this instance, we have two corners, right? We don't worry about, we're just going to read the picture. We're just going to see area. If somebody goes deep with our corner route, quarterback keep it. If nobody goes deep with the cornerback and they bite up on the sweep, dump it over the top. I don't care if the free safety's playing man. That's our rule for the quarterback. We expect our tight end to win on a break on that corner route. We tell him he's got to get his ass open because, apologies for the curse word, I don't know if that's all right. We tell him to get open because, hey, we don't throw the ball that often, so you better get open when we do call a pass play for you. But we're counting on our sweep action to pull up the corners, all right, and those pass defenders because we will run so much sweep out of this just over and over and over and over and over. So again, our offensive line, the play side is really aggressive. They're stepping through their play side gap and they're just kind of blocking anything that's there. If there's nothing there, they're working their way up to next level. Again, our defensive end for the strong side, that's the tricky part because we're going to try and get our tight end to try and reach block him, to show the reach block on that head up defender, and then he's just going to try and squeeze and slip by. So he's going to dip his inside shoulder, which in this case would be his left shoulder. He wants to try and show that he's reaching him, just dip through and make as little contact as possible. Where we kind of tell him, if you're scared of blocking, this is a great route for you because you just kind of try and avoid everybody, right? And you're going to slip and get north. And this is a short corner route. It breaks anywhere from 4 to 6 yards. It's kind of more of a feel thing. We had one kid that was really good at it, and he could take it to he would do it on his 4th yard, I swear, every time. He would just force 4 and go, 4 and go, 4 and go. And you're breaking this thing as vertical as possible because we tell him you're trying to score. All right, so if you snap it off, you're only snapping it off and turning it into more of an out if there was that defender sitting on your hip and you have to break away from him. If there's nobody sitting on you, you're going as vertical as possible. You're looking over your outside shoulder, which in this case for our tight end would be his right shoulder, and you were expecting a touchdown. All right, so the rule for that is just reach, slip, press vertical, and go for the corner. All right, our wingbacks who are flexed out on the side, their rule's a little trickier. But when our toss sweep play, we block in with our wingbacks, right? So we block in to seal and we pull with our tackles to kick out. It's that same action, which kind of helps us. We're still stepping in. Our inside wing, who's our F, is going to have to kind of step down and try and replace our tight end to secure that defensive end. Our outside wing is a little trickier. If he sees any pressure come up, which he should, because we're kind of banking on the defense playing our sweep, he's just going to block the first guy that shows up, all right? Those are the two guys we kind of tell to be more cognizant of going downfield. Offensive linemen, they just kind of know, hey, it's the run play. We're doing our job. If they get downfield, they get downfield. I'll take that. It's all right. But for those wing guys, we really tell them to stay firm on the line of scrimmage. Our outside wing has a little bit more flexibility. If you see somebody kind of lurking around, our tailback is offset again over the strong guard. He is our lead blocker. This might be the instance where we switch it. So again, I told you if we have a right-handed quarterback, we'll leave our quarterback there. A couple of years ago, we ran this with our left-handed quarterback. We moved our quarterback to tailback because he was a big 6'4", just throw his body around type of kid. He became our lead blocker because our running back was right-handed. All right, so we want a more physical kid at that tailback spot. So it could be our regular running back. It could be a little bulkier guy. We could switch it and make our fullback there if we really wanted to. But he just has to go lead block. The big thing for this play is the quarterback, again, has to be cognizant of the fact that what is my pass key? The pass key is if anybody goes deep, right, with the corner route, run it. And if he's going to run it, all he says is go, 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 go. And all go tells us is our tailback and our wings just start blocking. All right, so our wings are already blocking, but now this tells them they can go upfield. All right, our tailback is looking to seal like it's a sprint out pass, but once he hears go, he's going down the field. All right, so quarterback is just yelling go, go, go as soon as he knows he's not going to throw the ball. If he's going to throw the ball, he sets, plants, and throws. All right. If you really want the technical aspect, it's probably going to be on the 5th step or the 7th step. All right, for guys who count steps on the rollout. For my quarterbacks, I just tell them it's feel. When he's open, you just throw, just play football. But for those of you who want a little more technical, it's probably the 5th or 7th step. If it's anything more than that, you're in the risk of getting guys, far downfield. For our offensive linemen, I told you about it was scoop blocking. If I can kind of try and instill in them that it's a reach block, I will do that. We code word our plays. So this play would start with an R. It would be something like rodeo or Rambo or Romeo, something like that. And that would tell them to kind of reach it. And it's not R for reach, it's R for the directional. Because we'll probably only run this one way. But really try and work for that outside shoulder. But again, we try and instill as little rules as possible for offensive line. They're just run blocking. That's it. They don't worry about a pass. If they go downfield, that's on me. All right. If they go downfield and our quarterback threw it on his 9th step, that's on our quarterback. But yeah, that's the play we're gonna run. Basically, what's a quarterback sprint out with the option to throw deep if the corners bite up on the run. If the corners bail off and play pass, we're feeling good about our quarterback running the ball with a lead blocker and getting some numbers on the perimeter. But that's our play.
In my mind, it's very long, so that's how we get accurate. So you guys know this already. I'm gonna get accurate. Pressure's coming. Pressure bust pipe. That's my motto. So if you play, this is a blitz. I like all money. So pretty much, you see my free safety. First person I'm talking about is my free safety. Pre-snap, he's going to start moving down a little bit, right here outside of his strong safety. And he's a blitz pill defender on this play. So at the snap of the ball, he's blitzing. As he's blitzing, he's watching running back. Running back goes out for a pass. He covers him. But the running back stays in the block. His blitz is there. If you look at the number, it could be scratch him on what running back does. We're playing man-to-man, cover 0. The corners are playing man-to-man on the receivers. You see my rover and my strong safety. And then that the big back and then the thing is guys who know now. We treat those guys the same way. So pretty much those guys are playing man-to-man on those guys. My stars, my outside linebackers are key. Of course, you see them get me hands on the tight end or the wing backs for a second. Then they press you down. So pretty much my rover and my strong safety is super important. Let's say tight end / the wing back to stand the block, and my rover and strong safety, of course, they play right. So of course, they're helping the pass. It totally depends on what we're sending seven. And both swings out for a pass defense. We're getting at it. At the end of the day, our biggest advantage, and in my mind, when it comes from that 4-3, 4 look in the middle, the center is going to have to be one type of jig. It's weird. We'll live with it. It's rare, but the center is going to have to be a D1 type of jig. Pretty much the play, especially with one of these started this play. For 3rd and 7. That's very long in my mind. We're going to get after it. Pressure bust pipe. In my mind, this is a prevent situation. We can't give this up. So I'll start on the back end. So you notice that my free safety and my rover have them doing like rotation, like pretty much a deep rotation, deep pass, switch, whatever you like to call it. Everybody had their own terminology. Since the play start, you're not showing it. You're taking off since the play start. You see my strong safety. My strong safety is responsible for pretty much the full back over their strong over. It looks like it's coach's strong guard back over. He's responsible for him pretty much. If he goes out for a pass, he covers. If he stays on the block, he's playing robber right in the middle. My corners are playing man to man on the tight end or the running backs. You see my outside line, slash wing back, and then they're attacking their pressure. D tackles still do the attacking their. Now, this is the key where we're a little different. I see you see my two linebackers pretty much showing blitz like we always do, but then they pretty much dropping. So it's not like a half drop, but they're pretty much dropping looking for it. If it's a prevent situation, if the backs flare out either way, then they cover the backs. If the backs don't flare out, then of course they play Robert and they just drop the back. And we cover for everything. I mean, we're gonna take a miracle. It's a little different. This is the only time we're not bringing that 6 to 7. But of course, it's a prevent situation, so we got to be sure we good on the back end. Like I said, we can't give this up. Game on the line. We give this up, we lose. So I like our chances. So I call it the way we played is a prevent defense. It's more like I want to say like a cover 2 man.
This is not a situation we love to be in. We're a running team. We kind of predicate ourselves on power and outnumbering people. And some people are going to call this thing a gimmick play, and I'm not going to call you wrong, but this is kind of a core of our identity. We do have stuff where we can spread out and throw the ball, but that's not what we do best. What we do best is running the ball and showing that we're going to run the ball. So we will do this in different iterations. This one has a special place in my heart because we ran it, we scored, and I still have kids 6 years later telling me how much they love it. So the biggest thing for this play that is predicated on is the weak side corner. All right, the weak side corner. If he has been folding in or chasing our sweep plays, all right, or losing contain, then I know I'm calling this. Obviously, I don't get to pick how the corner reacts right now. So depending on scout, I can watch different things in the game that might set up a different play. But I'm sticking with this one. But just to let you know, if you are on the field, you're watching this, it is that backside corner. That is the number one guy that I'm looking at to see how he reacts, to see if this play is there. It should look exactly like our toss sweep. We ran the toss sweep earlier from our open set. This is just our toss sweep from our closed set. Our fullback and our Z are getting out there. The fullback has a little bit of an interesting rule. Our fullback is going to sell like he is blocking sweep, like he's getting out there, but he has his eyes back on the inside if anybody comes through. So if coach sends a blitz, all right, through the A or B gap and they leak through, that fullback is supposed to secure for the running back so the running back can throw the ball. All right, so he is going to sell sweep. He's going to get width. And then about 3 steps in, he's going to put his foot in the ground. And he's going to look back. If anything's coming, he's going to go seal it off. All right, if nothing's coming, he's just going to kind of shuffle around and look for protection. Our Z is leading for a running back. He is the exterior protector. He's getting outside. He's picking up if the corner's firing off the edge. If nothing's there, he's just going to throw all down at the line of scrimmage. Our offensive line is just reach blocking. So this is sprint out protection. So it's just reach blocking. It looks just like our other play. They're just reaching it. This one, there is no run phase. There is no ability for them to run block. It is only a reach protection, a full slide protection. Our quarterback, our footwork for the quarterback on all of our toss sweeps is he's going to take the snap and he's going to open and shovel it to the running back as fast as he can, like a rugby toss. All right, so he is going to take that toss and then he's going to use his momentum to spin around and he is going to get around the backside tight end. Again, we have really tight splits. So this is, we have foot-to-foot splits with our guys. So it's not a far distance to go. So he is pitching it. He is going full speed. We are counting. All right, like I said, on that backside corner, losing contain, or if he has contain or staying home, that he's got his eyes in the wrong area. The big thing for us is those 3 safeties. They can kind of get in the way. If they see that ball being pitched, I'm counting on them triggering on the run. Again, we've run the ball over and over and over this game. We've run toss sweep a lot this game. I am counting on them seeing that and coming up a bit. They don't have to come up to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to make the tackle. I just need them to come up and not be able to get over top of our backside. A running back, he is, again, we let our running back throw it a good amount. So, this is not an unfamiliar territory for him. We're going to pitch it to him. It's going to be toss sweep. It's going to be regular toss sweep like we've always run toss sweep. He's going to catch it. He's going to go out 5 hard steps, and then he's going to set up. Depending on the kid, you can change it. You can make it if he's taking a little faster steps, you can kind of set the depth or for it. I tell him he cannot set up for the throw outside of our strong side tight end. That is the big coaching point. If he sets up out there, all we have left for him is our wing back, and then we're just inviting pressure. So he has to set up at least head up or inside of our strong side tight. And then he is just throwing this thing as good of a ball as he can, but we're really trying to put air under it and let our quarterback run to it. So we don't want to throw a bullet because there's a lot of bodies in the way. We want to put air under it. We want to put this thing up as far as we can into the corner for our quarterback to run under it. Again, the big coaching points we talked about for the offensive line, it's full zone. It's full zone like a reach protection. They're not going downfield. They're just trying to get their butt in the hole and just create a wall. Our F back he's selling the sweep, and he is a personal protector for the running back on the pass. Our Z is selling sweep. He is blocking any edge threat. Our running back is catching the sweep. He is low hat, selling the run, and then he's going to set up over the tight end. All right, and the last thing here is our quarterback. Again, he's pitching. He's using his momentum. He's swinging around, and he is as fast as he can, as tight as he can, off of the tight end's block. He is going to go vertical, right, to the back corner. Right, so that's all the coaching point is for him. And then we tell him he should expect the ball over his right shoulder, his inside shoulder. Ball's coming over top, and he's just got to see it in. But yeah, that's our play. That's what we're counting on. So I just want to say thank you, Coach Mallard. This was real fun. I love this stuff because, this offense, we see so much defense of the week. So getting into stuff and seeing what different coaches are going to drop, that's the fun. I've never gone into a game knowing what I'm going to expect to see. So getting the opportunity to kind of get these mental reps is always fun. Again, if you liked anything, check me out on Twitter. It's Coach SCDub, SCDUB. I got a YouTube channel, same thing, Coach SCDUB. I post a lot of free stuff on Twitter that people seem to enjoy, just templates and stuff like that. If you're looking for anything for your program, they're all up for free. Working on a couple projects that I'll put on CoachTube. CoachTube is just my full name. It's Spencer Wheeler. But again, yeah, thank you, Coach Mallard. Thank you, Coach Trap, for doing this with me again. It's all about mental reps and having fun, and just kind of seeing what else is out there. So thank you, guys.
First off, I want to say, man, this is always good. Coach said, getting mental reps and just helping ourselves get better than what we all love to do. I appreciate Coach Mallard. I appreciate you, Coach Spencer, having me out here. And just keep putting my best foot forward every day. I'm a certified personal trainer as well as a football coach. And if you guys like anything that you saw here today, you can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook under my name, SaQuan Hicks. Dr. Trap, you'll see that on there as well. You can follow me on Twitter. It's the real Dr. _Trap. On Instagram, you can find me under Dr.Trap.Coach Trap. I'm pretty sorry to say that again on Instagram. It's Dr.Trap.Coach.Trap. I'm on LinkedIn under SaQuan Hicks, Dr. Trap, and I have a YouTube channel as well. My YouTube channel is called Dr. Trap. Once again, I appreciate you guys. And keep putting our best foot forward, guys. I appreciate it.